Hello, good afternoon everyone. Today we're going to talk about the intrinsic motivation of an athlete, how to harness one's intrinsic motivation, because that is the driving factor which separates the greats from the rest of the field. They just have that extra momentum with them, that extra edge which helps them separate themselves from the field, that helps them during tough times and helps them propel further in the good times. So what it means and what it does for an athlete, we're going to discuss today.
Today's story is all about what you love and love what you do. And the basic principle on this theory based is that's called enthusiasm. We have seen in last 15-20 years that the players and the kids, those who were externally motivated by their parents, they did not long lasted. The player who was intrinsically motivated, self motivated, they long lasted. So basic principle is what you do, whatever you do, you must fall in love with that. So that's the momentum, that's the motivation, that's the intrinsic motivation has to come from the player. Other what you want to say on this principle?
So many players growing up, they get excited about watching other big players play. They may get motivated by the money factor, the kind of lifestyle the athlete lives. But all these are external factors which one aspires to, do. But in the long run, athletes who have long careers, who are successful in their own fields, they develop a kind of a sense within themselves, what keeps them going. They find joy in the simple things, and without joy it's very hard to play a game like golf, because the journey is very long. There is no immediate gratification. You will not get results for months upon months, and in those times it's very important to have your self belief that you love what you are doing. Even if the results are not coming, you're still at it. You may face financial hardships, you may face even personal hardships, but those are the times when there is a make or break moment for an athlete, and only those survive who truly love what they do. And by love, it all comes down to the very simple factors of enjoying hitting a good golf shot, walking around on the golf course, chit chatting with your friends, and that is essentially what golf is all about. So if one has aspirations to make money or travel, those are all external factors, they are okay. But if you truly want to become a great player, you have to fall in love with the true sense of the game.
Enthusiasm and the intrinsic habits of doing the things is another principle. Like if you like the activity, you will feel like going downhill, you are biking downhill. If you don't like it, if you are doing it with for sake of somebody, maybe your coach, maybe your parents, maybe your wife, maybe for the social pressure, then you will feel like doing the work, but you are feeling it's uphill biking. So that's the major difference. If you do not like, you will feel strained, you will feel fatigued, you will tire more, you will yawn more. And if you like the activity, you will be doing it with a smiling face, you will be more disciplined, and you will finish that task in hand well in time than the stipulated target, because you love it and you doing it every day, and you maintain more discipline, and you are doing bits and pieces every day, and slowly you pile up, and you make a mountain like a success. Will people admire you in the long run? Adil, what do you say on this?
So very rightly said, when you love what you do, you don't get tired doing more of it, and that is the only way to get better at it. Because if you treat practice, you treat the hard, putting in the hard hours, you treat it like work. You'll work on a clock that I want to practice from 9 to 12. That is my practice time, and before and after that I won't think about golf. But truly great players, from the moment they wake up, something or the other they are doing to make themselves better golfers. Whether it's their diet, how quickly they wake up, what they do before coming to practice, what they do after practice, everything adds up. And only if you truly love this entire process, you won't mind putting in the extra hours, because the process is a part of you. You're not thinking as a job. You're thinking it as a way of life. You have to wake up on time, you have to do certain stuff which are good for you. We get paid to treat our body, train our mind, keep our body and mind in the best shapes possible. There's no better job than this. There's people working with health issues, with away from their families. We are in nature, we are amongst our friends. So it's a very good way of life, and the sooner one realizes the true benefits of the game, the sooner one starts loving the process.
Let's take some citation that how many people got an opportunity, what they love, they do the same activity. Early in our old days, the choice of work is a compulsion for you. You are not allowed to whatever you are chasing. Most of the peer group from the mediocre family, they had a pressure from their parents that start earning as soon as possible. So whatever you are loving, that will takes, it might take a long time. For example, you love music, but to be give a best blockbuster, your first blockbuster in the Hollywood or Bollywood, it will might take a 20 years. In the meantime, you might end up doing a barber job, or you to make an both hand meet, or maybe to earn a pocket money. You have to do something to think, let the things move in the right direction. So one common phenomena among all the successful people is, if you become a barber, you try to become a president of the association of the barber of the city, then you make sure that every good magazine all over the world come in your office and you read in the morning, and you try to converse in the way both way dialogue with your client, so that you can deliver the best. Even the barber shop, you can be a star there, but the principle lies the same, that whether you start loving it or you don't like it. Madhul, what do you say?
Very rightly said. Whatever you decide to do, if you don't find the love in it, change your job. Don't try to find the love, because it comes very naturally. You don't have to think about it. It's not a decision you have to make. You are automatically attracted to that way of life. If you don't find the joy in what you do, consider changing jobs if you have the luxury to do so. Like he said, many in the previous generation to my age, many people didn't have a choice, because they were forced to start working early, and whatever work they found, they stuck with it, and then the risk taking ability reduces. But if you have the freedom and you have the luxury to choose what you do, you better choose what you love, because you will stick with only what you love.
To follow this psychology, struggle always kills your enthusiasm and anxiety to do the better job. Struggle is one area, like it's a beach, the waves comes and erode some sands. You don't feel like you are eroding the sand, but suddenly after 10 years, 5 years, you will see that the beach entirely disappear. So same phenomena, if you don't like the job, if you cannot face the hard time, struggle, and the tough times, then your enthusiasm fades away with slowly and slowly. You will feel like you will feeling annoyed, you will feeling disappointed, you will feeling bad, you will feeling you feel like you are dating a bad man, and but you are so addicted to the system. When you wake up next morning and you feel like going to the practice again. So that's the cycle. And the good athlete and all the successful people, they understand that how to maintain that momentum to stay in the high enthusiasm zone throughout their life. And to close this chapter, the target you set, like Byron Nelson, we had the history of the golf. He was super talented golfer, but he had a dream that he wanted to have a house in the ranch. The moment he earned the dollars, or moment he started winning the matches, his dream came true, and he lost his enthusiasm, and he lost his zeal and enthusiasm both. And people still admire him that he could have won millions of millions if he stayed on the tour, but because his target he established in his mind, he accomplished it very early in his age. So that that dream he attained already. So his enthusiasm and his zeal to work the fade away. Anil, what do you say on this closing remarks?
So change is the only constant. Once you have some external dreams or external goals, if you happen to fulfill them early on, you have to set new goals to keep yourself growing, because if you stop growing, you fall back. Nobody stays at the same level throughout their life. So once you reach your external goal, you should aspire for a different goal. And because the internal goals one truly never reaches, like there's no perfect round of golf, there is no perfect shot, but the external goals, because of society and the world we live in, we do have to achieve them. And once we do, you have to set new goals in order to keep growing. Thank you.
Last citation is, like if you aspire to become a PCS officer or IAS officer or a police officer, maybe first year you won't be able to crack that, but you try to become a teacher and you prepare for the civil service exam, and at the same time you are teaching to the students. So at the end of the year, you will find that you will be very complacent and very easily you can clear the exam. And the same thing we observe in the golf. the player who wanted to succeed on the tour, most of the caddy player, particularly those who are from the average background, they become a coach, and with a small income they enthusiasm themselves and they keep them motivated, and next year, when they go to the tour and they start winning the golf tournaments. So more you absorb in the system, more you absorb in the process, there's a high chances that you will become a very successful athlete. Thank you very much.